Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another galactic Mayan astrology report with me, Jyoti. So, my loves, we are almost at the end of the spin. How bonkers is that? We've got just two more 13-day wave spells, two more journeys with the different archetypes of the galactic Mayan framework before we reboot into a new Tolkien spin until we rebirth. So the new cycle begins on the 25th of March. And if you haven't already got your copy, da, 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 the Galactic Mind Diary is out now, and this is, almost the last call for it. The next wave spell will be the last call. They are selling like hotcakes, and remember, I only ever get a certain number printed. So if you want in, we're like over 50% of the way done. So if you want in, get your copy now. The link's below. Inside, if you don't know what it is, inside you get a page today, just for today, you get a page a day for your musings. But then at the beginning of each wave spell, there's a poem. At the beginning of each of the 13 moons, there's a poem, and the poems really anchor in the energetics. At the beginning of the diary, you get a breakdown of all the tones and all of the archetypes so that you can understand at a deeper level the energies of the day, but also the energies of yourself and the people around you, because I teach you how to decode people's birthdays and things as well. So get your copy below. We're moving into another wave spell, another archetype that I really love. Hoping that you are journeying well. We are in a very Piscean time at the moment, which is super feels. And what comes up with those super feels are all of the lessons around discernment and boundaries and all of that magic, which can sometimes be tricky to navigate. Hey. So on the 27th of February, on Thursday, we enter the new 13-day process of the Blue Eagle. So we've just moved through a 13-day process about our self-expression, about our throne, about showing up in truth and integrity. And then we move into the second to last of the 13-day processes before we reboot again, which is Blue Eagle. So the Blue Eagle, I love it so much. It's all about. Oh my days, my words. I'm due my bleed, so yeah, ability to communicate is a little bit limited right now. But the Blue Eagle is about planetary service, which is what it's all about, really. I think my soul is very much because of my mum's legacy as well on a human level. But yeah, we're definitely most in alignment when we are living in that place of service. So yeah, the Blue Eagle is a blue sign, and the blue signs are all about transformation. And I always find Blue Eagle to be this real like resonance with Chiron. So Chiron as an archetype, we've got an asteroid called Chiron. It was the first asteroid to be discovered, and an asteroid is like a piece of matter from deep space that doesn't have the same orbit as our solar system. So like everything that's been mapped in our solar system, we all move in this orbit together, and it's a circular orbit. So there's like it's been really easy to map those things. But then with the asteroids, they've got like an ecliptic orbit. So it's like this instead of like this. So in that ecliptic orbit, they're only like hanging out with us in our solar system for a little bit of time. The rest of the time, they're like over here and we can't notice them. We don't notice them. And the idea with the asteroids is that, in this moment of the explosion and the bang, the asteroids are all of the little bits that got exploded off that have been floating around. So anyway, Chiron is an asteroid. We've named an asteroid, so you might hear astrologers referencing Chiron. But the story of Chiron, the myth of Chiron, is a story of an archetype, which is about the wounded healer. And Chiron was a centaur, so he was half horse, half human, and half like god, half human. And what that meant was that he faced this like primal rejection from his parents, and didn't fit in and had this like gaping wound around all of that and other things, and ended up hurting himself and could never heal his own wound, and then became a master of healing and medicine and inner transformation as a result on his quest for healing, which was never actually fulfilled. You know, his own personal wound never disappeared because they fucking don't. He then became this incredible healer and teacher. So, Blue Eagle for me is very resonant with this idea of Chiron, because the Blue Eagle is about, as I say, our planetary service, and our planetary service cannot be separated from what has hurt us. This is the nectar, of this, the thing that comes with our wounds. So what does planetary service mean? Something that is of benefit to the collective. What is it that we are here to bring? This is a quest for all of us, and it's something that we're going to really be diving into in the gathering in March, Women of the New Timeline, which is an event that's happening in Glastonbury, and there's still a few places left if you want to come. The link's below. And I think a lot of the time in this field of, like, I don't even know what you'd call it, spirituality or new age or whatever, there can be quite a self-focus. But for me, my understanding is that we focus on the self to understand how we can then affect the collective. It's not just self-focus for self reasons. It's not just like my personal evolution is the most important thing in the world, because it is on one level, because that's the only thing that we can master. We can master the karma of our own lifetime. We can master the learning and development of our personal lifetime. But we are also here as a collective, as a community. And what happens as we journey that personal evolution, that personal medicine, it then does become a nectar that we can share with each other. And each of us knows that there have been those people that have come into our lives and dropped in some fucking nectar that has completely transformed us and put us on a different trajectory, that has led us to led us closer to integration and embodiment. So our planetary service is what we provide that supports the collective to come into deeper alignment with integrity, with love, with heart, with all of the magic. So oftentimes when it comes to planetary service, it's that kind of age-old thing, isn't it, of like, people wake up, whatever the fuck that means. It's that like, there's more to life. But then that initial thing of, what seems to happen now that we've got this weird Western New Age culture is like everyone wants to be the healer straight away. So it's like one of the first steps is some kind of training that equips you. And the reason that that happens is because, we're in a soulless matrix, and the whole thing of the Dreamspell, this galactic Mayan framework of natural time, is that time equals art, time equals creativity. It's us creating reality. But in the old matrix, in the old world, it's time equals money. So this amount of time equals this amount of money. It's like this crazy prison energy. And therefore, when we go through this awakening, it's like, fuck me, how do I get out of prison? Like, I'm in this job where I'm selling my fucking soul because it's not in alignment with soul. So I'm exchanging soul. So then if I've come into this reality where I'm like, oh my God, everything's multidimensional, what the hell can I grasp onto so that I can make my money in a soulful way? And that, that does come eventually. We can step into a place of, leadership and sharing and therapeutic support. But the key to arriving at that place is doing the fucking work of the healing. Duk, 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 duk. So the planetary service can only really come into fruition when we've begun to actually do the work and integrate ourselves. And sometimes for those parts of us, which is the majority of our subconscious realm, that doesn't want to feel the pain, it's so comfy to be like, to like hop into planetary service of like, I'm here to help the collective, even though I've not dealt with any of my historic pain and I'm just replaying all of my horrendous patterns all the time. And we're all doing that all the time too. But it's like, okay, let's look at how much of our consciousness and energy is invested in the cleanup, is invested in the healing. If it's a fragment and the rest of it is like, how can I serve the world? Like, oh, guys, something's got a little awry here. So the blue eagle is also this energy of the bigger picture. And this term was actually used toward me within a situation of late that was asking me to abandon my own boundaries and enable somebody's patterns. Just see the bigger picture. And though I didn't necessarily feel that I needed to communicate it at the time, it was a recognition that, like, wow, people see the bigger picture in so many different ways. And the blue eagle has this eagle sight, which is this idea of the bigger picture. But the question is, what bigger picture are we tuning into here? What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture being the effect on other people. The bigger picture being, yeah, the bigger picture can be in so many directions. But I think for me, my bigger picture in this particular reality is always the evolutionary standpoint. So, what provides the most growth? What provides the most opportunity for ourselves and for others to really grow toward? So, in terms of framing our experiences into a bigger picture, I think it's very important for us to recognize what is the bigger picture and what are the beliefs underneath the bigger picture that we hold, and is that actually serving us? So this is a time over these 13 days where we can get, it's an opportunity to reflect. You know, it's the second to last of the 13-day processes of the entire 9-month spin, right? So we are in kind of getting to that place of, okay, we're beginning to integrate, we're beginning to refine, we're beginning to look back. So this is a beautiful moment to do that. And the blue eagle invites us to take it all in, recognize, you know, where we got hurt, maybe where we hurt others, because the two were like hand in hand, but also then look at like, how does that manifest as my gift? What is the permission I can bring to the world on the back of that? Primary objective is to do the fucking healing and learn the shit first. But really, you know, the driver that I feel humanity needs to find as a collective, which, you know, we're getting toward, is this energy of, you know, how can I support? But the other piece of that is about the drama triangle, really. So in the drama triangle, we've got the victim. Poor me, save me. Nothing's my fault. It's all just happened to me. We've got the aggressor or the bully. Fuck you. And often it's the fucking victim that's putting everybody in their roles, but that's by the by. We've got the bully that's the fuck you, you're worthless, you're knobhead, there's aggression, there's anger, there's like fuck everyone. And again, what's underneath all of the rules is the victim. So it's often, I've been really fucked over and therefore I will not be fucked over again and I'm going to fucking fight. And then you've got the savior, you know, the glorified one, which is, I really want to feel powerful because I don't feel powerful at all. And therefore, I'm going to make myself and everybody think that I am saving them. It's okay. Let me come and get involved in your bullshit drama. I can do what needs to, you know. And we've all played all of these roles and we all do play all of these roles. But when it comes to the idea of planetary service, it's very important that we find ourselves not operating on the drama triangle, because that's when shit gets icky. And I think again in like new agey circles and spiritual circles, the therapeutics make me feel so angry, sad, sick in equal measure, because there isn't often the therapeutic training that ensures that people are not embodying this savior position and elevating themselves and not keeping people safe and being very responsible and all the wonky shit that I think again most of us have experienced in one circle or another somewhere along the line. Oh Lord, roll on the times where I would prefer for it all to be a bit more fucking monitored by the body that you had to register with and be assessed by and all that stuff. In the meantime, we've just got to check ourselves, which is probably where we're going, you know, if we are moving toward a anarchistic, self-responsible society, you know, checking ourselves is the key really. So in terms of planetary service, making sure when you look at your personal history, you are not trying to avoid the pain that you have experienced by occupying a certain role, but instead looking at, okay, as opposed to trying to prevent people from having these experiences, how can I be the remedy for people that have had the experiences? That's the key. Because we're not here to prevent karma, you know? These wounds that we inflict upon one another and ourselves and experience here, you know, it's all for growth, it's all for learning. You know, this is the magic of this realm, the horror and the beauty of being an emotional karmic realm. But in order to support people to process their karma, to process their growth, to integrate, you know, how can we be of service to enable that to happen, to support that to happen? Enable's maybe not the right word. As opposed to the avoidance of pain. And I think this is the thing where the savior and the, you know, the healer and all the rest of it, it's like we're not meant to be avoiding pain. We're not meant to be avoiding difficult things happening. What we are here to do is support one another to recognize how this happened for us and begin to integrate from the wound and bring it into the gold, which then fuels us to be a more embodied soul, which then means that we bring more magic, love, connection, embodiment to this realm. So, my loves, 13 days, bigger picture awareness, look into the myth of Chiron. If you don't know anything about Chiron, feel into what you bring to the collective as a direct result of the wounds that you have experienced. And before you think about how can I support the world, feel into how supported am I internally. And if that isn't a, yeah, I feel pretty stable and pretty good, then just look at that for a fucking while. That's the best thing that you can bring to the collective, is to sort your own shit out. But then if you do start to feel like, okay, I feel like I've kind of broken through something here, and you are trying to figure out, you know, what is it that I bring? It's always very much, as I say, like, how can you support others to go through the experiences or the flavors that you've gone through? Sometimes it's simply by being an inspiration. Other times it's by actively supporting the process. But really, you know, I think as a collective, it's time for us to really get on board with, we are here to evolve and grow. So let's support each other to do that and stop fucking about with everything else. Ding. If you haven't got your diary yet, get it. If you want to come to Glastonbury and you've not told me yet, tell me. And I hope that you, oh shit, yeah, I've not put my stuff on Etsy yet. You know, just kind of still going through this death process, which is wavy as fuck. So in context to everything that I've said, I'd say 70%, 80%, maybe even 90% of my energy right now has been in the internal realms, and that's exactly what it needed to be. But maybe before the end of the spin, I will upload really cool things that are all just sat over there waiting to be photographed and stuff to my Etsy, because I've got many magical things up my sleeves, and I've got dead big sleeves. Look at the size of that. All right, loves. Enjoy Blue Eagle. I send you all my love, and yeah, keep evolving, keep looking at your shit, keep getting more and more in alignment with integrity.